It's been a much angrier, confrontational environment over the last 2 or 3 years.
They say, I'm right and you're evil.
Both sides are guilty of this.
There is no shortage of recent examples. Nevada Republican Sharon Angle spoke of taking up arms against the government.
People are really looking toward those Second Amendment remedies.
Florida Democrat Alan Grayson likened his opponent to the Taliban.
Taliban Dan Webster.
And West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin fired a rifle at legislation he didn't like.
Isn't it kind of extreme to be firing a gun when you're talking about anyone's agenda?
In West Virginia, if you don't know how to shoot a gun and handle a gun, you probably shouldn't be running for office.
Congresswoman Giffords was one of many who called for an end to the violent imagery.
When people do that, they've got to realize there's consequences to that action.
Her fellow Arizonan, Congressman Raul Grijalva, has himself received death threats.
I think the, those disc jockeys and commentators that make a living off of and a rating off of how much hate and anger they can generate over the airwaves, I think they need to stop and pause and see how they contribute to us.
Radio host Tammy Bruce, who calls herself
"She's a chick with a gun and a microphone," was
granted an interview this weekend by a top aide to Sarah Palin, who talked about Palin's now infamous campaign website, which placed crosshairs on 20 Democratic districts, including Giffords.
The graphic is just, it's basic. We never, ever intended it to be gun sites. It was simply crosshairs like you'd see on maps.
House Speaker John Boehner led a conference call for more than 800 members and staffers this afternoon. They were told to be vigilant.
The primary thing here is to make sure that all members are coordinating their efforts with local police officials, which a lot of members do routinely.
House members had been girding for an all-out battle over repealing health care this week. Instead, the only legislation they'll be considering is a resolution honoring Congresswoman Giffords and the other victims. Russ.
Nancy Cordes in Washington, thank you very much.